Well, let's get to it then. It is time to get Rondo underway here. We only played 2 of them in the grand finals. You've got to make it count here. Let's go over to the commentators.
First rondo of the grand finals out of 2, and my, oh my, guess what? Plane path gonna be right over test track.
You know, there's so many cool parts on this map. I guess I wish we get to
Why
see
do you?
more
Okay,
of them,
look,
man. I don't know what.
all I just want to go a bit further west. Is that too much to ask? Is Xiaotin over there? It's just calling me. I want it.
City, man. It's gonna just Jadina.
Gina,
Or my homie Dan Cheng.
or even stadium. I'd be fine with some stadium.
Oh, stadium.
Or even factory. You know, if we went to factory, I would be fine with it.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Really, just anywhere at this point besides test track. I want to see more of the map. But you know what? We'll see what happens here. Wow, James, you are.
Look, he's leveling up for the grand finals. Usually he's only about like 200 to 300 meters away. Now it's got to be 2 kilometers away.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. And you know what? At least there's literally nobody anywhere near him. He's going to get all the loot he wants up there by himself. And it doesn't look like, well, test track, we have seen some spicy content down there by test track, but it looks like 17 is just going to go ahead and leave this to Navi as they've dropped for vehicles and they're out. And yes, praise be, we are going southwest.
Got ourselves some Yulin as well as Fengtun inside the circle. We've got the kind of lakeside river that you want to talk about around Ren down there as well. Yeah, got some water, some lakes. We also have some flat terrains. It's pretty centered, actually. It's going to be, I would say, there is some verticality that comes into play, but it's not high-end verticality. It's more like hills kind of bounding over through the center of the circle. So a couple of very interesting points that we could be playing from, and I'm very, very excited, especially if you are a TSM, Falcons, Cerberus, Petrichor Road, or FaZe fan, as they're already in position. Well, 3 members of FaZe fans.
3 out of 4. Well, yeah, we do have a not a hot drop. I mean, this is by no means a hot drop. There's plenty of room in Yulin for both teams to loot up here, but you can see Petrichor Road, they're fully aware that they are not by themselves, and it does not look like they want to have anything to do with that, and I don't blame them.
I want to point out something real quick. We have had a shift already from one of the FaZe members over to the west of Yulin, realizing the fact that the strength inside of the circle and the fact that the way that this is going to line out, we might see Cerberus step out. He's already got his eyes directly looking straight at Yulin, waiting to see if anybody comes out of there. So trap already established for Cerberus if they try to leave. Zest, who's already been kind of used to being by himself, already moving on this other side next to Petrichor Road.
Yeah, we saw FaZe send one down. Well, Zest went down for AGG as well, and just taking points on both sides of the cities. We check in with the Expendables.
Okay, see how the lay of the land is. They're going to be rotating around the north, trying to regroup. Sonics already have 2 of their members that have shifted over into the east. That's why we're seeing such a wider wrap around. Tickleton's just kind of trapped back here for the time being, and I think that's what the Expendables are after. Do they know where he's at? 2 members going to be jumping out. Glorious, we've seen him spin around. They popped in a couple points. No, they're running directly into the compound.
Well, they know somebody's here,
though. They know somebody's here.
Pre-flashing that compound unless you know that somebody's here. So Tickleton,
so sneaky.
This is incredibly sneaky. Now, kind of looking at the map and seeing where the rest of Sonics are, they're still
left.
off to the
They had
east.
to.
Yeah, they left. You can see H-Wing kind of running around there from a distance, trying to provide a little bit of support. But the rest of the gang still kind of doing a long wrap to the north. It looks like Delwyn might spot them, so the Expendables will have information on this.
So that means that they're going to try to regroup, maybe move back over into the vehicles, and just the distraction. The roaming vehicles might be enough to keep Tig in a safe position. This is well done. He didn't commit into too much looting. Oh, he's going to spot, goes for the spray, doesn't get the knock on Wad, does get Glorious though. So now Tanvu, low health, those shots, that knock is going to be big because the rest of the Sonics are coming in on reinforcements saying, you want to come after Tig? You're coming after all of us. Running down the hillside, Tanvu now in the receiving position of what he was trying to set up, going for some shots. He's got himself the sawed-off, though, trying to make sure that he doesn't overextend in this one, bouncing between, but it's going to be just too many members. Sonics just comes in with gustos, keeps all their members.
And the Expendables not even in a position where they could get in vehicles and come provide some support because Delwyn was getting basically pinned down. And now look at this, 17 heard the gunshots, and they are leaving the Neox facility here to come over off to the east and see if they can maybe pick up something off of this fight.
Tig was near on no loot.
Factory.
I mean, we didn't see a backpack. We didn't see any armor. I think that he had a helmet on. But so we've got 2 members for the Expendables playing off. Kick actually, I think, also spotted out Delwyn, so he's going to be playing up into the north. I think that Sonics are committed into shutting this down. They want to really make sure the Expendables do not try this again. They are after Delwyn.
Absolutely after Delwyn. I mean, Kickstarter, that's what I said. Well, what we were saying was Delwyn, none of the Expendables were in a position to come and support their teammates as that fight was going on because Kickstart had Delwyn absolutely pinned down. And so now they have just all regrouped. They're coming around. You can see H-Win coming from the north side to see if he can get a different angle. Delwyn just holding onto that grenade and praying that maybe he can survive a little bit. Panzerfaust in hand. That's a scary proposition.
Nade in one hand, or do you want the Panzerfaust? So dancing around the outside of it, no big rush. He's actually left position. Duckjuice realized he saw all the Sonics members move over here, so he fed that information. Delwyn made the switch over to the Panzerfaust. Duckjuice is now moving in back behind the Sonics. They want to see if maybe they can get a knock or a kill out of this bare minimum, but the lineup isn't the best. Duckjuice will have to just jump in right back behind this and exploit it. Remember, this is not inside of zone, but I like that Sonics is making this commitment into the east, realizing the fact that 17 is going to be trying to gatekeep them out. Panzerfaust does go out, gets multiple knocks. Delwyn makes it happen, but H-Win at range manages to keep his team alive. Here comes the shots at range. He has to drop to his belly. Duckjuice now coming in, trying to make sure he can get these flushes running out. It's going to be H-Win near on no life. Duckjuice just throwing nade upon nade. H-Win's direction. Can he manage to pick it up? Oh, he does! Vengeance comes back. Expendables take down the Sonics.
How the hell did the Expendables turn that around? Absolutely unbelievable. The timing. Duckjuice getting there at the exact perfect time
Here's
to
your
take
reward.
advantage of H-Win.
Your reward is now you get to do it again, maybe. 17 Gaming has decided that, hey, we heard where that firefight was going on at. Duckjuice already spotted. Look at little Goose. He's just playing with his food right now. Takes a couple of shots in, and he already knows. I don't know, were they kill feed tracking off of this one? Because it looks like they're a bit afraid to just from pushing this one. There it goes. Now they're starting to realize they've got control over the area. Throwables coming out. Duckjuice should have some utility with all those bodies around them, but that's going to be all she wrote. So it's going to be the Expendables get the kills. And, I mean, Sonics get some kills out of it as well, so kind of neutral.
I mean, geez, though, Clories, unbelievable. Just, I mean, I don't blame 17 for going in slowly. They just saw Clories get a 3-piece out of nothing. And just, oh, man, unbelievable stuff from the Expendables. They do go down early once again, though. So, you know, while we've seen highlight reel plays coming out in the long term here in terms of the overall leaderboard, they still need more.
And I think a problem along that is whenever we come back over to this map again tomorrow, this is just going to continue. I think that what Sonics wanted there was they wanted to cement the position, get the Expendables away from them, say, like, just go away. That hero play that we saw come out from the Expendables just entirely stopped that. Now they know that they can still commit in. They know that they can make the firefight. So Sonics are going to find themselves continually pressed between 17 Gaming and the Expendables on this map.
Definitely something to think about going forward as we check in with BB Team. They are our southernmost team, really, and they have a lot of room to play around here as we check in. As
This is why he went so far north right here.
Exactly. This is how you get in, and you can see he's following Anonix. Essentially, it's just a drone keeping eyes on him, figuring out where they're going to go.
He's just right. There's nothing else on the map. He's just falling right above him. There's like a kilometer before you even manage to make it. Yeah.
Do it, man.
It's like, leave me alone.
Oh, what a crazy fight this was. I mean, just from elation for Sonics here to heartbreak in the matter of a few seconds as Delwyn, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 8 HP left. H-Win pulls off the save at the end, but then Duckjuice with the miracle nade from downtown gets him low and flushes him out.
That's just straight up map knowledge, realizing the fact that, okay, he's probably behind the tree. Let me try to throw one nade to the right of it, follow up on the left side. Just beautifully played, beautifully played.
All right, well, 17, after finishing off the Expendables, now coming in from that northeastern side, coming with the blue. Fortunately for them, nobody really hanging out on the edge of the zone on the east, so they should have plenty of room to play around. And we'll see how far and how deep they decide to go here.
So looking at the map, Yulin's pretty centered, but it's going to be Navi in control of it with Betracor Road. Day Trade with their encroachment onto the duo for Na'Vi. Notice that Falcons do have themselves right up against that river lakefront, however you want to say it. I'm going to be pretty good position. FaZe, though, now a beneficiary of positional, as it looks like James is going to have to hop back into his glider, or did he find a car? I can't quite tell. He's going to have to regroup with the rest of his friends. The 2-2 split from Tiamba also going to be regrouping. BB team is the team I have my eyes on, as they could have a problem, as they're going to be bumping into probably either TSN or Tiamba both.
I was just laughing at FaZe. They've been so burned by the zones and zone shifts these last 2 games that you could see as before it even popped, they were all in vehicles, and then after it popped, they were still in there for a second, and before it registered, like, oh wait, we don't have to move. We're dead center circle. We're great.
What? We can stay here? Yeah. This is our home for a little while?
Oh, so sad.
This is just the continuation of the pops, but Hakatori now finds himself as the last member up for Na'Vi and Yulin. The other duo cannot support, so that's going to be quickly picked up by Petrichor Road. We have AGG with Valley Tai, and a member of the Freak still needing to make a move in from the north, so wider wraps could be happening, specifically going around over into the west. Dona actually holds a 2-1-1 very wide over in the west with a lot of control.
Yeah, there's not a lot that they have to worry about in the northwest right now, although Valley Tai, they tried to come into the north and got kind of ran into Freaks and AGG, lost 1, and now they're doing a long wraparound. As we see Na'Vi now turning their attention back over towards Day Trade. They have lost 1. Love to get some revenge for it, but Day Trade just not revealing themselves.
We were talking about this during the break, and the pushes that are coming out from 17 Gaming. We can often see them have big, like, last days and everything else like that, mounting their comeback. But I mean, this is a really good start for 17 Gaming.
No, they've been fantastic so far today. A 4th place finish followed by a 3rd place finish. And again, this is kind of the formula that TSM had during the entire group stage, is not getting any wins, but you're constantly in that top 5, constantly getting points. And 17 so far have been incredibly consistent. We'll see if they can keep it going near on Rondo, as they're coming in very, very late from the south side.
Now Falcons in their control with 3 members and playing together next to Day Trade. Day Trade kind of sandwiched in between them and Na'Vi. Is they also do have 1 member, Falcons, in Flood, that is very far to the west, playing a kind of an anchor safety position just in case the next circle pops and moves a bit more that direction, which high likelihood it is, because Falcons are pretty much up against the zone wall if you count in the water in position. So right now just leaning into the safety as they've got it and hoping that Flood can continue to defend the position as they could need it.
53 alive right now, only down to 14 teams, so a lot of space available. All you're seeing right now is most of our teams in kind of wider information gathering splits, taking some exploratory shots. No real danger to anyone here at this point, as everybody's pretty much set up on where they want to be. Now, we still have a number of teams playing around the edges, still trying to find their way into the zone, Valley Tai being one of them.
Tell me that this isn't the most telling part of how our circles have behaved. Rondo has near on no water in it. And every single circle we've seen this event has tons of water. And somehow this circle in our grand final managed to find one of the largest pieces of water in it.
It's just how it is.
Well done. Yeah. Well done.
Just how it is sometimes. Well, the circle finally collapsing here. You see AGG actually up there in the north. They're going to hop in an E pickup, and they're going to probably take off right as soon as the pop comes through. And there you go. We're going to center up FaZe once again, getting a little bit of love here, as they still have their compound. Did they lose James? Are they down to 3? It looks like they might be.
It's hard to say. James always trying to glide around.
Yeah.
AGG with their pickup coming into play. This is actually pretty beneficial for most of our teams. We did see Dona as well as Valley Tai having a big chunk of the northwest under their control. Tiamba having the west under their control. So kind of leaning over here is where a lot of our teams were already fortified in. But that said, those wide split and come up. See how we see AG Global make their drop.
I was wondering if this was what they were going to do. This is dead center circle. They're going to try to take some high ground here. And see.
Oh, don't miss it! Don't miss it!
Oh no! You hate to see that. Zest gonna be falling down here. You can see the shots coming through from pretty much everywhere, but it looks like Zest gonna be the only one. And Sir T actually falls off as well. So Sapao gonna get knocked, but he should be there with Tycon. So it's gonna be 2 somewhat high and 2 somewhat low.
This is TSM. TSM read that somebody might go for there. They already had the eyes on position, goes for the shots in, really forces them out of that high ground. I mean, they still have the mid-ground point coming in. High glider? Whose is that?
Wait, please,
where did that come from?
Somebody tell tell me that that was James's glider that's just been floating around for the past 10 minutes and it finally crashed. I want that to be the case so bad.
I have no idea. Okay, so TSM continuing their harassment onto AGG. Falcons have a 2-2
That's the
split,
lore
just
I'm
the seven.
sticking with. I don't know if it's true, but that's the one I'm
Doesn't
sticking with.
matter.
Somebody probably just jumped out and parachuted
We
down
can
there.
create whatever truth that we want here. We can see the Freaks in some trouble. It's going to be Dona that's going to be lined up to the west of them, while Petrichor Road has some shots coming in from the east. Cerberus already in a gatekeeping position on them as well. So a lot of bouncing positions coming up from Dona as they're making their push into a very weakened Freaks right now. You can see Heaven on pretty low life, being already down, and it's going to be Deal playing off in the angle, making sure that Sloot can provide any form of reinforcements, while Loki is trying to make sure that Sloot has no pathing to make it back over to his teammates.
Yeah, I think Freak's just going to go ahead and leave Bean here. They managed to get Heaven back up on his feet, and that's a battle won there, essentially, if you're Freaks. Donawa not wanting to let him leave, but looks like they're going to be able to escape for the time being, but they're 3 deep in a car, and like you said, Cerberus is off to the east. Donawa still has a number of angles on him.
Anonyx. Look at his angle.
Oh, Deal. He's right there.
Yeah. This was very well read, realizing how they were probably going to have to navigate away from the compound. Now Deal has some angles that he can work with. Anonyx has already got a beautiful line into the smoke's already down. This is a big problem for the Freaks.
Just notice it wasn't James that died, so I take it back. He's still alive, but doesn't look like Freaks are going to be alive that much longer as Donawa is clenching and closing the fist. The new circle is going to pop. We're going to go back up to the northwest, and that's going to be good news for Donawa as they have now collected a few points, and they have the entire northwestern edge to themselves to play with. But FaZe, once again, still looking good in that compound.
Valley Thai, we've been talking about the potential underdog capabilities of this squad, have been finding success upon success in different sections of this one, now finding themselves in a good gatekeeping position, I should say. The circle is, yes, it has a giant mountain in it. It's got the FaZe compound that we're looking at as well as the Cerberus compound, but also pretty open. There's a lot of trees to try and navigate and whatnot. So Valley Thai having this entrenched position already is going to be very, very strong, specifically looking in the likes of how Tiamba, TSM, or a BB team could all try to be rotated.
This is about to be absolutely brutal. I mean, you look at how many teams are on the outside of this new circle in compounds right now. Still 4 strong, but there's just not a lot to play. So much open field on the north side, and the south side doesn't provide much even better, as we'll see Tiamba be one of the first ones to make a move on the south. Petrichor Road just going to go ahead and try to crash the Cerberus compound, and they might catch them slipping here as they are they're in 4 different spots. They're not able to kind of collect themselves to prevent this.
Both sins coming in very strong. Petrichor Road Summer on the tail end. Duckmine now finding himself the odd man out. Solzy having to run away, just taking way too much damage. Himas just can't defend the way he wants to. Finally, a knock comes out onto Summer, but Duckmine had to retreat away from the compound, now leaned into the wall. Haisaki going to be repositioning, make sure to deny any angles of approach, but the nade is going to be good. Ming just tosses it over the wall. While this is going to be going on, the crash coming up from Tiamba onto Valley Thai also really big. So good positioning coming out from them. They managed to push their way up the hillside. You can see Valley Thai in this point. I thought that they had it on lock, but coming in back behind Valley Thai is going to be 17 Gaming. They have some vision on this tail end of Tiamba trying to regroup. They're going to take a couple of shots, but that's going to be about it. Now 17 Gaming is going to go for a stop off while Dana was maneuvering down from the north. They hear this firefight. Looks like a lot of eyes are being set on this hillside.
Yeah, 17 looked like they were going to blow right by, but then they saw the smokes. They saw an opportunity. They tried to go for it, but the good job from Tiamba to land those big shots, important shots to make sure that they didn't get crashed again.
Navi is now crashing into the Cerberus compound as well. There's multiple crashes happening all over this place. Valley Thai is now eliminated. Tiamba gets control over this territory. While this is going on, FaZe in their compound that they had under control, BBT made a push directly into it. Now 17 Gaming had to stop off right next to where Dona was at. So now 17 Gaming in a world of trouble. Loki's already down for Dona while the exchanges are coming up, and you can see it's 17 Gaming in a ton of trouble. It's now going to be Tiamba flipping back around, taking some shots into the backside of what's going to be going on with 17 Gaming while nades are just raining upon them.
And FaZe is trying to third-party this from all the way in the center of the circle, but they have BB Team that has crashed their compound as well, so they can't afford to put all their attention towards this, as Donawa down to Loki, or they have a knock Loki now, and Nonix is going to go down as well from Tiamba, so Donawa, while it was looking good for a second, now things are looking a little bit more dicey.
While that was all happening, we had another crash in position where it was going to be Falcons, AGG, day trade all around the mountain that we saw that where AGG went for their crash onto. New circle has popped. It's lean into where Dona and FaZe are all going to be at. It's just the FaZe compound fields, and so this 3-stack all up on top of each other, all going to have to move into the circle. The 3-stack up to the north with Petrichor Road as well as Cerberus and Na'Vi all also going to have to move into a very open circle.
AG, the low duo that didn't manage to make the drop on top, they managed to at least get some deployable cover in there, and that's going to slow the push from Falcons down just enough to where they can reposition here a little bit. Zest offering a little bit of support here, but day trade, they want to get in there, so AGG now in the middle of a day trade Falcons sandwich, and that's immediately 2 knocks coming through, but both day trade and Falcons realizing that they're not the only ones here.
Every single way you maneuver right now is going to have a third or fourth party coming after you. Falcons realizing that this might be a bit too heavy on this angle. Now trying to wrap around. Tycon still alive for AGG up on top of the hillside. He's got a member up there with him. Daytrade trying to use this opportunity to make a maneuver into the circle, but it's going to be Na'Vi as well as TSM that could have vision on them at any given moment. And you can see AGG, 2 members up. Sapao, Tycon, high angles. That is scary for the rest of this lobby.
Yeah, they're going to have to stick with this as long as they can. They'll find Raw, and they will go down as well. Spiro actually going to be the one that steals it away. So Sapao and Tycon using that high ground for as long as they can. Unfortunately for Falcons, they'll lose one in the process, but they have to be considering how to get inside the zone now as Tycon's still trying to rain it down. Flood going to go down, Rello going to go down to Hackatory, and Falcons are falling apart.
There's just nowhere to go. There's no angle of approach. It is entirely denied. Gate kept at close range by day trade. High ground where AG has realized they're not going to have an option to move in. They just want to go after these kills. They are bloodthirsty, and we know it. They're just going to land down. Looks like they're going to try to find Snakers. Jumps out into the blue. Do they know where he is? Yes, they do. AG Global is just vicious, man.
4 kills now for AGG, although now they have to try to find their way into the zone. He's going to pick up as much utility as possible. Sapao not going to be able to get that heal off in time, so it's all down to Tycon as the blue zone is ticking away. Meanwhile, while all this was going on, TSM took an emergency pickup, found a nice ridge line to play towards the center of the zone. They're down to just 3, but they're in a great position for late game.
More friends decided to join that 17 Dona position, and that's going to be Tiamba as they manage to move in. We also have Cerberus that's counter-moving over into the northeast as they're trying to shift around, and that's no surprise. While Tycon put up a great fight, there's no pathing it. We do have Na'Vi that's going to have to make some type of move. They've got Solzy for Cerberus to the north, Hemos to the west, and they're also going to have Day Trade as well as TSM with some type of vision, maybe even Petrichor Road.
See where Na'Vi decides to go here. There's not a lot of great positions really to play. Day Trade still trying to find their way in. I think they realize that TSM is in the spot that they are. Thanadol just going to eat some blue damage right now as BB Team keeping them pinned up against the wall. A kind of an uneasy truce going on between BB Team and FaZe inside that compound. New zone might make that truce come to an end though.
Cerberus, Hemos does line in with BB Team as they're going to just put in damage on Na'Vi. Na'Vi wants to go after the TSM positional. TSM trying to fend up close range. Na'Vi not going to be able to get away with it. Daytrade going to have to make a move of their own in just one moment. Solzy is also down, so that means that Hemos, last one up for Cerberus. He's just got himself that vehicle and, I guess, dreams that maybe somebody will rotate away from him. Most of this actually could end up happening as our teams all pretty much to the west and the south now.
Yeah, the Western teams is the big question mark. What are they going to do? You've got a 4-man squad for Donawa, 4-man squad for Tiamba, and then the wild card of Xiaowu that's still hiding in and amongst all of them. Petrichor Road playing from the fields on the north side. You can see TSM keeping that smoke wall going, the deployable cover, staying alive. Purdy Curdy should be resible here. Nobody really pushing him just yet, but BB Team, they're on the move.
TSM still just so freaking consistent, man. Inside the circle, defended up. One of the few teams that does not have to move right now. Have to see how BB Team decides to respond to this. They've got day trade that they're having to contend with. They know that FaZe is going on, but again, that uneasy alliance between BB Team and FaZe. FaZe looking to the northwest while it's going to be to the northeast for BB Team. BB Team finishes their job as is going to be day trade getting eliminated. So now what do you do with this alliance? Nope, FaZe is done with the alliance. They're going to start taking shots at BB Team now as Cerberus is going to get eliminated as well. Petrichor Road, no easy pathing. They are just right on the edge of the zone.
And this is the brutal part about this circle is there's so much wide open field. Now it's rolling hills here, so there is some cover to be found, but unfortunately for Petrichor Road, it's just not great. But right into Donawa, the car coming through, but it doesn't matter. Look at the kill feed as Tiamba gets absolutely roasted.
That is just a massacre over there. The rest of Dona, go ahead, regroup. They should be able to get some of these reses back up. They've got some vehicles to work around. Xiaowu chose not to get too involved in that just yet. BB team now having to make a move in. They're just trying to rein in on TSM. TSM with Neuron, no idea what's going on. They're just having to smoke into smoke into smoke to stay alive.
Yeah, Pretty Curdy will get flushed out. Elo is resible here for Luke 12, but that smoke you can see is about to die as BB team continues to move. They're going to spot out Elo's toesies. Luke 12, the last one alive.
But here comes FaZe sweeping in right back behind BB team. They're playing from the wall right now and doesn't look like they're going to hard pursue just quite yet. Seeing how this firefight is going to go down, they have some vision into it. They do take a couple of shots. So BB team now has to shift their touch back over here. They need to make sure that they're playing around that bit of cover that they've got in the hillside, in the vehicle. But FaZe just going to go ahead and gun it in. They're trying to make sure that they get denial angles away from where Dona, who's entrenched and got vehicles of their own for cover. So this little bit of a hill is about all you've got for cover and trying to make it work.
Love that for FaZe, that they're smoking off their left-hand side, making sure that they can't be third-party by Petrichor Road or Dona, immediately just focusing all their attention. They're sending all the utility over at BB team. TSM will get finished off. Xiaowu will die to blue, so we are down to our top 4.
Kings of Consistency and TSM now down. Petrichor Road, the only ones inside this circle. So Dona going to have to make a move. The bigger problem right now is this, though. BB team, FaZe up on top of each other. BB team in some pretty big trouble right now. They're having to dodge all of these blue zone nades.
So much
FaZe got that hillside. They're just kind of juking around it. I mean, Molotov's going to land right in the thick of them. That is just problematic.
Oh
that was just clean, dude.
Yeah, I mean, that is extremely effective use of utility by FaZe there. But that being said, now look at what they've got. 1 smoke, 3 Molotovs, that's it. But it's not like anybody else is sitting on a whole lot either. Dona just running the gamut on flashbangs here and 3 mollies. But they have to be on the move now as the circle has left them. Somehow, Petrichor Road still with 3 up despite playing in that wide open field.
Man, they kind of had to limp into this one a bit, though.
It's been brutal.
Dona with their 4 members up to the west, already sitting on 10 kills. You can see here is our circle. From here all the way over to Dona and Petrichor Road. You got yourself some very pretty trees, but that is about it. Vehicles already flipped over at different areas. Any vehicle cover that you can manage to bring into this is going to be really, really big. Dona's vehicles are a bit weakened, though. Remember, we saw them having to make a couple of very desperate repositions off of it. They do manage to get them into a pretty solid position. Are they just going to line in? They say no. We're just going to come over here directly where you're at, jump out, pops out of it very, very quick. 2 members from Dona already down, but it's covering angles from Anonix at range. Can they manage to make it happen? But Axelef just defending up, trying to mop up everything he can right now. FaZe realizes this is an opportunity. They're already inside of vehicles. They're rushing across this. Anonix trying to hold them back, and now it's suddenly stalled out.
Expendables with a hero plays, but will it be enough as he is the last player alive? And Nonix will get spotted out by him again. Expendables just farming Dona right now, and they are down to just deal.
FaZe now in so much control over the circle. They've got James up next to Petrichor Road, Gustav in the center of it, and Corexi down to the south. Deal nowhere to go. Exlef can maybe try to get the res, but you can see the angle's going to come up from Gustav, denied, and so Petrichor Road is eliminated. FaZe now in first place.
Deal, the last player left alive. He's got some hard cover to play around in that tree. It's a big tree, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. FaZe Clan widespread onto this. They want this win. They need this win, and they want to get that last point to go along with it.
9 kills, aiming for that 10th. Deal's had some big plays, but a 1v3 with no cover, not even inside the zone, not too likely to happen. So FaZe narrowly managing to make it to this stage, walks away with a big victory and now in first place.
Absolute class from FaZe there. 2nd place in the first game, 9th place in the second, and they wrap it up with a big win here, despite a little bit of a weird start, having James all the way off to the north. But you know what? In the end of the day, they played it out, and they did get a little bit of compound love. But man, that push on a BB was just absolute class.
You know what I took away from this?
What's that?
Gliders win games.
Exactly.
See,
everybody needs to be in gliders more often and all the time. As we check with Dona again, another team that had a really rough start. They had some kills, but they went out very, very early, 13th and 14th. This time, turning things around, so they're back on track once again. As you see, Pow Pow giving them a little bit of a fist bump there.
I love it whenever we see like the interregional like communication, those guys hanging out. You know, like most of these teams